Hey, Mike, guess what?
What?
Mike, raging rivers, hungry bears, drastic avalanches, roaring seas. No matter how prepared you are, a walk in the woods can go from innocent to disaster in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
When pushed to their breaking point, humans are capable of astonishing things that you would never thought of possible.
Yeah.
Listen to In the Wild as they explore the most heroic, terrifying, and phenomenal stories of real people who survived the unsurvivable. Learn what went wrong, what went right, and how you can make it out alive if the worst case ever happened to you. In the Wild podcast reviews on Apple include Love Your Podcast from Laura. It's scary how relentless nature can be. I always enjoy this podcast at work. It keeps me on the edge of my seat. Or how about we go with Hiker 0001? Good stories and good narration. I like when there are sound effects that add to the ambience of the story. In the Wild podcast on Apple Podcasts and everywhere you get your podcast downloads.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading edge topics, along with special guests to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat. Raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show today. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms out there, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And Facebook got their act together, so we're back broadcasting on there without dropping it. So Congratulations. Good job, Zuckerberg. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us online at techtimeradio.com. Tweet us during the show at hashtag TechTimeRadio, and we'll do our best to respond to the tweets on the air. You can also check out our new TikTok channel by looking for TechTime Radio on our TikTok app. And our TikTok app is going to be debuting later tonight, early tomorrow, the 12 Days of Twitter Miss animated version of the song. This is going to be number one. Let me just tell you, you cannot wait to see this.
Just gave a head slap.
All right. I'm your host, a technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise, working for Fortune 500 companies across the country. My co-host here, Mike Corday, is an award-winning author from Arizona. Mike is a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike helps me from geeking out while providing an insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We're two friends from different backgrounds. We're bringing the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. All right, we got a lot of stories today. You ready to go, Mike?
Yep.
All right, let's get our show started.
Now on today's show.
All right, today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, scientists have achieved nuclear fusion in a new breakthrough that we're going to be talking about. And guess what? Have you ever heard of Hey Disney? Would you like to have an Alexa device on your vacation at Disneyland or Disney World, listening to everything that you say? We're going to be talking about Hey Disney, the new Alexa Amazon cooperation with the Disney Corporation to have everything you do in your hotel room recorded and available for you. All right. Then Twitter has dissolved its Trust and Safety Council, and the most popular application this month on your phone is the Lensa AI, but is it stealing from artists? Gwen Wei is here to pick one of the best gadgets for our end of the year special here. This is December, so this is our last chance to get into 2022, and she's got a device that I spent over 30 minutes dissecting and maybe ordered the $499 VR model available to be shipped to me soon, within 6 months, they said. So we'll see about that. All right. And then again, we have our 12 Days of Twitter Miss that's back on the show for your listening pleasure. All right. Now, let's get ready to start with our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, story number one. Scientists achieved nuclear fusion breakthrough with a blast of 192 lasers.
Yes, this is very exciting.
Are you excited about this?
This is probably one of the best news
Stories that we'll have this year.
we'll have in a long time.
In a long time. This is pretty big news. All right, we have our correspondents in California that is here available with latest information.
If fusion is the energy holy grail, Lawrence Livermore appears to have taken a step towards it.
They used this large laser called the National Ignition Facility to create a system that produced energy by thermonuclear fusion faster than it lost it.
UC Berkeley's Lee Bernstein knows some of those involved with the project, and he says the breakthrough goes beyond the energy possibilities. For example, the plasma that's created is not unlike the core of a star.
This is a reproducible platform to let us study the way that elements and energy are evolved in stars and stellar interiors.
The science of fusion is moving ahead and is picking up speed.
All right, so let's talk about this. So there's this device that has 192 lasers shot all at the same time to concentrate at the middle. It literally looked like something you'd see out of a Marvel movie. We have all these energy sources coming on into one central location, and they have been able in this experiment to produce the very first time where they've had fusion nuclear power that was greater than the power that was needed to produce the power. So essentially, a lot of times,
say that again.
well, okay, so the power that was produced was less than the power needed to create it. So a lot of times there's been experiments that have been going on specifically in the fusion energy.
The thing with this nuclear fusion means that there's more energy that comes out of the reaction than was put into
it. Correct.
And there's less waste.
And so there's been a lot of different experiments that have done this already where they've produced nuclear fusion, but it always cost more effort, more time, and more to produce that, and it was not sustained as long as what they're currently doing, as of announced this morning. So essentially, this is huge. The White House science advisor said during a news conference today in the morning that this is, from an environmental perspective, is huge, as fusion has always been a strong appeal. And essentially, with suns and stars, fusion continuously combines hydrogen atoms into helium, producing sunlight and warmth that bathes the planets. So, big deal.
Yes.
This
Very
is
big deal.
This is going to be able to produce,
as soon as they can figure out how to do it regularly and cheaply.
This will be clean energy.
This
replaces all the fossil fuels. It replaces all of our energy prospects that we use now that essentially pollute our environment, that have greenhouse effects to our environment. And this would be essentially clean energy sources.
And it can potentially be used for star travel.
Yep.
And, if you're a fan of Back to the Future, you're putting it into your DeLorean.
You could do that. Or
Mr. Fusion.
It could be used for transporters to transport your molecules from one place to another, so that we could be on Star Trek and I can go to the planet Vulcan. All right. There you go. Story number one. Mike, you got story number two?
Yep. Well, Elon Musk, in his plan to dominate social media and taking full control over Twitter, has dissolved its Trust and Safety Council today. This is an advisory group of around 100 independent civil, human rights, and other organizations that the company formed in 2016 to address hate speech, child exploitation, suicide, self-harm, and other problems on the platform.
Okay.
The council was scheduled to meet with the Twitter representatives last night, but Twitter informed the group via an email that it was disbanding it shortly before the meeting was to take place.
Oh, I hate those emails. When you're getting ready for a meeting and then literally like an hour ahead of the meeting or something, sorry, we're not having that meeting. Oh, that just chaps my hides.
That's actually one of my favorite emails to get.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah. That gives me free time.
Oh, free time. Okay. All right. Okay.
Anyway, the council members who provided images of the email from Twitter to the Associated Press, spoke on the condition of anonymity due to fears of retaliation. The email said that Twitter was reevaluating how best to bring external insights, and the council is, quote unquote, not the best structure to do this. The continuation of that was that the work to make Twitter a safe, informative place will be moving faster and more aggressively than ever before, and we will continue to welcome your ideas going forward about how to achieve this goal. Thank you, signed Twitter. The volunteer group provided expertise and guidance on how Twitter could better combat these issues that are wreaking havoc on these platforms.
Okay.
But didn't have any decision-making authority, so they're essentially just an advisory council.
All right.
Shortly after buying Twitter in October, Musk said he would form a new content moderation council to help make those major decisions, but later changed his mind. Former Twitter employee Patricia Cortez, whose job it was to form the council in 2016, said on Monday that its dissolution means there's no more checks and balances to the Twitter platform. And that is what we have seen today. And as much as I hate it, I'm talking about Elon yet again.
So you know what? He's just like dominating the news right now.
He's doing what conquestors do.
Okay.
He took over a new
company.
He
broke it down to its bare bones.
And now he's trying to get rid of all the divisive elements that he can, so he can establish full and complete control before expanding once again. And then he will probably do what everybody does and turn it over to a bureaucratic
individual
or group. Then it will maybe restabilize unless it goes under. So who knows?
We'll see about that. All right, I got story number 3. Disney and Amazon have partnered to create Hey Disney, the new voice assistant that will soon be available to guests staying in rooms at Walt Disney World Resorts. Let's go to our correspondent in Orlando to learn more.
Have you ever dreamed of Disney listening in on your conversations while you stay in their hotel rooms? Well, now your dreams can come true with Hey Disney. New voice assistant technology has been installed at the Polynesian Resort and will soon make its way to all the Disney hotels. And you like asking for more towels or planning a trip to the parks. That is, if you have an Amazon Echo device.
All right, so I have an Amazon Echo device. Sometimes it comes on during our staff meetings, and it says backdoor alert, and you sometimes hear the alerts that come on. I like my device, but I don't know if I would be okay if I'm going to a Disneyland resort and I have a device sitting in there.
I'm thinking that Disney might find out that a lot of their customers are not family friendly.
They can find out they're not. Yeah. So this device is expected to officially launch next year and will offer access to interactive Disney storytelling experiences and entertainment. But last week, Walt Disney World Resorts has begun installing the Amazon Echo Show 5 smart displays equipped with a Disney-branded version of Alexa. So essentially, they have Alexa on this device. Strip it off, and Disney is loading its own operating version of Alexa on the device itself. Guests at the resorts will be able to request amenities, ask for directions or park events, and engage in other interactive activities using the voice assistant. The device will be placed in a limited number of rooms at the resort and will eventually be extended to additional hotels across all of Disney World and Disneyland hotels. Guests are not required to use the voice assistant, however, yet, and may choose to mute it during their stay. Because the device operates with the hotel room, it will not be automatically connected to your Disney account. Because the device also operates with the hotel room, it will not automatically be connected to key other accounts. Well, many are excited about the prospect of using Hey Disney, the enhancement for the resort property stay. Others have expressed mixed feelings about the technology. Some have criticized the name of the device, arguing that it lacks creativity, and the syntax "Hey corporate entity" is rather odd. Another concern raised by
what would they want to call it? Hey Mickey.
You know what? I see
that. So fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey Mickey.
Well, actually, I liked Hey Mickey better. Okay. You know that was actually like another suggestion. Or you could have it like if it's supposed to be this computer, Hey Wally. I mean, you could use like a Disney character and engage with it if you're trying to do the whole computer stuff. I mean, wouldn't that be a little bit nicer?
I don't know.
But we got Hey Disney.
Who knows?
As the device's microphone-enabled device, some worry about the idea of the hotel listening into their conversation. However, Disney has confirmed that Hey Disney is completely opt-in for hotel guests, and the device will be muted when guests enter the rooms. So now they're going to create a new OS version of this, and they're going to mute it when you come in the room. So how are they going to know that? If I come in the door, they're going to know, now I need to mute it?
Yeah, in a couple of years, if this thing actually flies, we're probably going to get a news story that says Disney was found listening in on conversations in a
security
resorts.
breach, and there's a lawsuit that's pending.
Yep.
Well, Amazon and Disney announced their collaboration back in September of 2021. You will soon be able to actually have this on your home unit. By paying an add-on fee, you will be able to have your supported Amazon Echo devices via the Amazon Alexa Skills Store be able to have Hey Disney. So it's not free.
No,
so you're gonna have to pay for it.
Can I get a heated steering wheel with that?
Yes. So I'm gonna pay for it.
How about an advance in speed?
Well, additionally, Magic Band Pluses will reportedly pair with supported Amazon Echo devices to enhance the Hey Disney experience.
Yeah.
All right. Story number 4, real quick. Debate over the top app Lensa AI generated avatars. Is it stealing from artists? That's the question. The photo editing app Lensa AI has been going viral over the new feature that offers to create magic avatars from a series of uploaded selfie photos. The avatars are created using the open source Stable Diffusion model to transfer your photos into what they look like if they were created by a digital artist. But there's controversy surrounding how these images are made. The feature isn't cheap or quick. The process can take a half an hour to even multiple hours to complete. Lensa's pricing model is also fairly crafty. It's either $3.99 for 50 unique avatars or $7.99 if you're not a subscriber, or $11 for 100 unique avatars. Essentially, this is not a free version, but it's a pay-to-play version to make your avatar look artistic. The big backlash isn't over cost, but it's about the Stable Diffusion's AI generator processing power, the services. These AIs are originally trained from 2.3 billion captured images from the internet. Some of them are watermarked or copyrighted works, as well as a number of images from sites like Pinterest, SmugMug, Flickr, DeviantArt, ArtStation, Getty, and Shutterstock. The issue at hand is that artists don't opt in to have their work included in the training data, nor can they now opt out. So the big concern here is the artists are going to lose their ability to make money by creating your little avatar with this fancy little
Napster
items.
version. This is the Napster version of digital art.
It is the Napster version, yeah, kind of digital art, and it's got the AI that can take your face, make it look creative, and make it look like something that would be a character or a superhero or something very rigidly detailed, drawn like an artist would do.
Yeah, it takes artist renditions and creates avatars for you.
There you go. So here's the backlash. Is it going to stay or is it going to go?
It's going to be around, and it's probably going to see some legal interventions, and maybe it'll be Napstered at one point, or it's going to stick around and have to follow some guidelines about where they get their.
Digital art's a unique thing, right? It's really simple to understand. Copyrighted music. This is a brand new.
This is exactly the same thing as I was talking about last week with this chat thing that writes stories.
Yep.
Right. It's taking all this information and trying to collate it into something, and it's not able to do so in a creative manner because it's actually taking.
It's copying other stuff, but isn't copying like the biggest form of flattery?
Yeah, you could talk about that until your income is affected by a chatbot that keeps stealing stuff.
Okay, that could be true. All right, well, there you go. That was our segments for our top stories. Moving on, we're going to get ready for our next segment, Gadgets and Gears with Gwen Way. And back by popular demand, we have our 12 Days of Twitter Miss remix. So everybody get ready. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. Hey, Mike, I'm looking for some help
writing our blog post for TechTime Radio.
Well, you should try Phosphor AI. It's an online service that will save you hours of work with your content creation. Simply type in your title, and their AI software will get to work writing a high-quality original article for you. You'll need to review the article and take 15 to 20 minutes to make necessary edits before publishing, but you'll get free articles just for signing up, so you can try out the service and see how it works for you.
How many articles do I get free?
I already said you get 3 free articles. You should listen when I'm talking to you. Phosphor AI pricing is very reasonable for the quality of content that you'll get.
Why waste time writing the content yourself when you get Phosphor AI to do it for you? Visit them online today at Phosphor AI. Again, that's PHOSPHORAI.com.
TechTime wants to welcome everyone to enjoy the holidays with the 12 days of Twittermas as only TechTime can present it. Please forgive the singing.
On the first day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me of a CEO with a big battery.
On the second day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 2 account options and a CEO with a big battery.
Me, I want to do me next. On the third day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 3 Fireboard executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big battery.
I'm so awesome. On the 4th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big battery.
On the 5th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 5 data breaches.
Oh my God.
44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big battery. That's because of Tesla.
On the 6th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me
What?
6 on-site kitchen closings, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchases, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a space Karen as a CEO.
On the 7th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchens closing, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big ego.
On the 8th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 8 attacks on Jack Dorsey, 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchens closing, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big battery.
On the 9th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 9 fake account postings, 8 attacks on Jack Dorsey, 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchen closings, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO who dated Amber Heard.
On the 10th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 10 must tweets a day, 9 fake account postings, 8 attack on Jack Dorsey, 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchens closing, 5 data breaches, 44. That was the wrong one.
Yeah, you didn't move it fast enough, buddy.
44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO with a big battery.
Perfect.
Okay.
On the 11th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me 11 board members fired, 10 must tweets a day, 9 fake account postings, 8 attacks on Jack Dorsey, 7 lawsuits pending, 6 on-site kitchens closing, 5 data breaches, 44 billion purchase, 3 fired executives, 2 account options, and a CEO who shouldn't be a CEO.
Do it like me and act like you're pissed off. Reed.
On the 12th day of Twittermas, TechTime informed me
Twitter works 12-hour days,
11 board members fired,
10 must tweets a day.
9 fake accounts postings, 8 attacks on Jack Dorsey,
7 lawsuits pending, 6
This is a lot of crap.
5
data
data breaches,
44 billion purchase.
3 fired executives,
2-account options, and
The CEO who fires people Thanksgiving week.
Oh my gosh.
we want to thank everyone that listened to our 12 Days of Twittermas. We wish each of you a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas.
I'm just so glad this is actually recorded.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time Radio is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Corday. We just had our 12 Days of Twittermas. You can find the video edition online later tonight. So there's actually videos that go with it. There's stock pictures of Elon Musk, and there's so many funny ones. You're going to want to go check it out. What's that?
Tweet it.
Yeah, I'll tweet it out. So it'll all be available for everybody to take a look at this evening. Make sure you stay by techtimeradio.com for the major breaking announcement of the video. All right. Well, we just had our first whiskey tasting during the break. And now let me tell you about what we're sipping in our pick of the day during the show. Today we have chosen 1792 full proof, 125 proof is its rating. The actual category for it is the 1792 full proof. So that is the title of the whiskey that we're tasting. There's many different versions of 1792. So we have the full proof version that we're doing. $49.95. According to the back of the bottle, bourbon insiders have long acknowledged the full proof bourbon has a distinguished and rich flavor. This bourbon underwent a distinctive filtering process, forgoing the typical chill filtration and passing only through a plate and frame filter. Strong and full of flavor, this bold bourbon boasts an incredible deep and smoky taste, superbly balanced with the sweet vanilla and notes of caramel. It is distillation is Barton's 1792 distillery in Kentucky. It's a straight bourbon. Aging as a non-age is stated, but it's claimed to be about 8.5 years. And the mash bill is undisclosed, rumored to be around 75% core, 15% rye, and 10% malted barley. What's your first initial impression of that, Mike? You like it?
Yes, it's
like
very rich.
All right. What did Odie think? Odie, did you have a say? Odie hasn't taken it yet. I liked mine. That was a pretty. I felt like I could blow out fire after I had my first deal. That was pretty strong. That had a kick to it that was like, whoa.
Yeah. This is one of those rare ones where I like the burn is worth the taste.
The burn is worth the taste. All right, you heard it there from Mr. Mike Gourday. Well, now after we got our whiskey selection done here, we're going to be moving on to our segment Gadgets and Gear with Gwen Way. Let's get ready to move and say,
What's new in our gadgets and gear?
All right, our producer and key contributor, Gwen Way, joins the show today with a gadget that I might have to get my hands on. Gwen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I do want to say before we get started that I think that 5 data breaches so much better than 5 golden rings. As somebody who works in cybersecurity,
yeah,
exactly.
Now, okay, so Gwen, tell us a little bit about yourself for people that are new to the show, and we don't normally spend tons of time talking. Tell us about what your job is, what you do in technology. I know you had a great boss that hired you many years ago. Myself,
I did. Who brought me up to Seattle from Austin, Texas?
From Austin, Texas. Yeah, we moved people out of Texas to the beautiful Pacific Northwest. But tell us a little bit about what you do for your full-time job, a little bit about your background.
Sure. I actually work for a startup cybersecurity company that is based here in Seattle. I have been there for a little over a year, and I'm getting to develop new processes and just put everything together like you do at a startup. It's a lot of fun. I like to say I've been in technology for just over 2 decades, which still makes me cry a little bit when I think about how long that is. But I've gotten to do everything from software support, some minor coding, all the way up to sysadmin. And then I made the leap over to technical account manager, actually working with you with Mark Mumbles, and have just kept running. I love it.
So Gwen is our security. So we do what are our top stories we're going to talk about. And Gwen always sends us at least 4 or 5 stories about security because Gwen speaks and is in the world of security each and every day. If we didn't have Nick Espinoza on the show, we'd probably have Gwen filling in on those spots too, with all the cracking and hacking and all the mischievous items that are there. But Gwen is
stuff.
also supposed to have taken this gadgets and gear from me so I wouldn't spend any money on these gadgets. And you know what? It has done the
doesn't
worst.
work.
It has done the worst because she'll talk about something, then I'll spend 15 to 20 minutes looking about it, then I'll end up buying it, and then all of a sudden it gets hit on my credit card, and my wife's like, I thought we're not doing this anymore. And it's like, oops.
On the plus side, you can now blame me, and your wife can be mad at me.
That's right. Well, I haven't bought this unit
Yeah, I don't
yet.
think that's gonna fly.
Yeah, I haven't
Nah, I
bought
don't
this.
think so
Okay, so Gwen, tell us a little bit about what you have here for our Tech Time end of the year review.
So I tried going all out for this one. I think everybody will enjoy it. It's a toy for all of the grown-ups and at least some of the kids. This particular product is from a company called Pimax, Pimax, and it is called the Portal. This is not their first offering, but it is the most extensive one, and I think the one that will appeal the most to the crowd. Nathan, I'm just going to ask you, how much do you love your Stream Deck?
Well, so you know what? I really loved it at first. So this is the dilemma of Nathan Mumm. So I got it all working. It was awesome. My Steam Deck was like the best. I took it everywhere I got. And then all of a sudden it sits at home in a drawer, and it's sitting there, and I'm like, man, maybe I give it to one of my kids for Christmas. So I love the Steam Deck.
You just got to give it to me.
I just got to give it to you. There you go. It's all taken care of. So I like the Steam Deck, but I'll say that great screen, great product integrated with Steam, but I didn't like the joystick configuration. The joysticks are too far away from the left and the right of what I'm used to on a regular controller. So it's across the screen on the left. I have to put my hand, and then all the way on the right. And they essentially have a 12-inch screen in there. So that's a pretty big difference compared to my controller on my Xbox and other devices that I use.
Exactly. And it can make a huge difference. So one of the things that came out a few years ago is the Nintendo Switch, which is basically the same thing without the connection to Steam. It's a little closer together. It's a little easier to handle.
It's
and
much
you
better
can remove the
produced.
controllers.
Yep.
Now imagine if you could do all of that. You could plug into your TV like you can with the Switch, but you could also use VR goggles with the same device. How
You
cool
can
would
use
that
VR
be?
goggles with the same device.
Yep.
Well, so there's no VR goggles for the Switch yet.
Not yet.
But it's coming.
It may be coming. There's not. Okay, so how does that work? So explain that to me. You're telling me that this handheld device is also a VR device?
Exactly. So Pimax actually made their company or built it based on VR headsets. So they took a look at the Switch, they took a look at the Steam Deck and said, how can we make this better? I know, we can slot it into a VR headset.
Okay.
Basically, what they do is they provide you with not only the console and the controllers, but also if you spend just a little bit more money, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit, you also get a VR headset that you can actually put the game console into, and you're able to actually interact with it via VR.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Okay. So tell me, how much has been raised? How many backers? How many days to go for this device?
So they're sitting at just under 600 backers right now, 577.
Okay, and this is on Kickstarter, right?
It's on Kickstarter.
Okay.
Their goal was 200,000. They've already blown past that. They've almost doubled it. They're sitting at just under 388,000. Unfortunately, that does mean that their early bird pricing, if you're going for just the base model, is already sold out. If you want to go for the model with the VR set, though, included, you can spend $449 to get this lovely piece of technology.
Okay. All right. And so tell me, what type of OS is built on this? All right. So this is my big concern. Is it going to play only Epic games? Is it going to play
Exactly.
EA sports games, or how is this built?
So it's actually built on an Android OS. So
Okay.
you'd be able to get anything that you can find at the Android App Store. quite a few games there, obviously. You can also use what they call WiGig, which is a wireless Airlink that can connect back to your computer. So you are able to actually play PC games as well.
Okay, so I can connect back to my PC then wirelessly. Is that how it's going to do it? So okay, because Steam had a device that did that pretty much connected to it. It wasn't really good. So hopefully, at least if they're trying to play the PC games on here, that they have that fixed, because I don't know if anybody's been able to quite do that. All right, so what's the ETA? If I buy one of these, how long is it going to take? 17 years? What's their ETA on this?
Well, they're not going to be quite as quick as your robot dog was.
I got my robot dog says it's going to be here by Christmas, so we'll keep our fingers crossed and see if that's a scam or not.
We need to have a segment where we go over all the stuff that you've bought off of Kickstarter and all the stuff you've actually received from Kickstarter.
I'm still waiting for a lot of stuff.
I know.
That could be a fun one. Definitely. There's some good stuff. So we're looking at them being able to present everything within 6 months, they say.
Okay.
Which normally I'd be a little skeptical on that, except that they do have their background in the virtual reality headset.
I think they have an office in New York too. Don't they have an office in like New York where people can I mean, so all the videos that when you go to Kickstarter and you take a look for the Pimax, PIMAX portal, you can just search for it anywhere in the Kickstarter. You can just search for it on the web and it will come on up with their Kickstarter campaign that they have going on. But they have had other devices, so I don't think this is going to be a scam where they just disappear in the middle of the night and they don't actually produce the device that's there. But
they're not going to FTX out of there?
No, they're not going to FTX. That's perfect. No, they're not going to disappear overnight or my 3D printer fort that I still am waiting for from China that never came that I never got my money back on that either. So, okay. Well, Gwen, hopefully you and your loved one will have a great holiday. I will not see you until next year on the show. That's going to make me very sad, but I'll see you on Monday night when we have our production meeting. So that's always really exciting. Tell us, what was your favorite gadget of the year that you covered?
There have been so many good ones. I'm actually leaning towards the Pimax portal being the best of the lot, though.
I don't know. The dog's pretty good. If that dog actually works, I don't have to clean up for it, and it's actually some type of a companion to me, that will be my best friend.
I'm just saying that when it shows up, you need to bring it in on the show and show it.
I'll bring it in. I'll bring it because then by that time, Rufus, or I should call him Yeller. Old Yeller.
Okay. Old Yeller.
I'll just call him Old Yeller, and then he'll come on over here and we'll see what goes on.
I don't know that anybody's really going to understand that reference.
Old Yeller?
I think there are enough of us old.
Come on, there's enough people listening to Old Yeller.
Maybe.
Well, you're going to need to be
a lot of millennials that are going, what?
Or how about Clifford? I'll name him Clifford.
There you go. Big red dog.
Marmaduke.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, that ends our segment, Gadgets and Gear with Gwen Way. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a good time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we will be doing so during the break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you ever heard of Turbo Debt?
No, what is that? Something that get me into debt faster?
No, Turbo Debt is not to get you in debt faster. It's to help you get out of debt. Do you have over $10,000 in credit card, personal loans, medical, or payday loans?
Of course I have debt. That's the American way.
Au contraire, mon frere. Turbo Debt will give you the option to break the debt cycle and start putting money in your pocket.
That's awesome.
Over 70% of Americans die with credit card debt. Do not let this happen to you. Turbo Debt will give you an option to break the debt cycle and start putting money in your pocket.
That's awesome.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt and personal loans, medical, or payday loans, they can help. Go to turbodebt.com/tech-time. Again, that's turbodebt.com/tech-time, all capitalized, for a free consultation today. Turbo Debt is a proud sponsor of this week's episode of TechTime Radio.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, in our way back machine, we're going to go all the way back to December 12th, 1980. What were you doing in 1980, Mike?
I was still going to high school.
You're still in the high school there in 1980. I would have been probably in junior high school. So there you go. Well, let me tell you, there's this company called Apple Computers. It holds its initial public offering, selling 4.6 million shares at $22 per share and turning more than 40 Apple employees and investors into instant millionaires.
Yeah, wouldn't you have liked to have been there?
Wouldn't you like to have been there during that time?
Well, I
I
was there, but
I was actually reading their incorporation. It was an old typewritten type of deal to the trade exchange.
Yeah.
That essentially did. It was very interesting to see how it was. And let's talk about some millionaires. Well, essentially with the stock value closing at $29 that day, the market capitalization put the company's net worth at $1.778 billion. Stock held by Steve Jobs was worth $217 million and Steve Wozniak at $116 million. This was the largest IPO in the U.S. since the Ford Motor Company in 1956. Oh, to get a piece of that company, think about that. Well, the stock symbol is all well known on the stock exchange as AAPL. And essentially, they generated more capital than any other IPO. Instantly, about 300 millionaires were created. Some 40 of those were, of course, the Apple employees and investors. There were more millionaires than any company in history has produced at that time.
The next one, Microsoft.
I think so. I bet you if we look up there, I bet you Microsoft will be there. I bet you there'll be Alphabet with Google, and some of that will be there also. Well, Apple fell in the 1990s. I was there at Microsoft when it was actually plummeting, and Microsoft had to come on in and actually help bail it out and actually purchase stock for Apple to exist.
Yeah.
It rose then in the 2000. The Apple prices have reclaimed its growth in 2012 and reached new heights in 2015 and again in 2017. Apple is considered the number one company in the world with a value. Listen to this. $2,431 billion. $2,431 billion is the number one company in industry listed for electronics and information technology. Well, that was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with 2 years of videos, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows or join the Tech Timers Facebook group. You can talk with Gwen Way, who was just on the show there with us. And we talk to us all the time about many technology questions. If you want to get free support, this is what you should do. Note to self. If you want to get free technical support instead of paying $199 an hour to get Nathan to help you give an answer, all you got to do is join the Facebook group Tech Timers, and then you can ask me that question, and I'll answer it for free without charging you. There you go. We're going to take a commercial break. When you return, we have our Mark Mumble's Whiskey Review and our technology fail of the week. We'll see you after the break. Tech Time Radio is brought to you today by Nutility, the platform that makes utility management seamless by selecting your service providers, splitting a single bill amongst roommates, and then shutting off your service when it's time for you to move out. Nutility reviews your preferences and sets up all the utilities for you. This provides you with the best local provider in your service area. It's much easier than splitting up your bills between roommates. No more late Larry not being able to get to you on time to make the payments, and no more Venmo charges or PayPal charges. One place to do your billing so that everybody pays on time. Now, how can you use this great service from Nutility, you ask? Aha! Well, you can absolutely get it now and get 3 months for free. That's correct. If you go to Nutility.com, again, it kind of sounds like utility, but it's Nutility.com. Use the tech code 3, and again, that's NUTILITI.com. Get your first 3 months for free using the code TECH3.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
Presented by Microday today. Here we go, Mike.
Yeah, well, we actually have a this day is called the this day thing.
Okay.
You know, what goes well with bourbon?
What goes well with bourbon?
Ice cream, apparently.
Oh, ice cream does?
Yeah, today is National
Have you ever had?
Ice Cream
Okay,
Day.
hang on. Have you ever had ice cream with your bourbon?
You know, when I read this, I was like, man, I'm gonna go and get some straight vanilla ice cream and pour some bourbon on it.
Okay.
National Ice Cream Day.
Okay. Baskin Robbins supposed to be happy.
Pint or 3, who's counting? The good stuff to share with your friends and family.
Okay.
So, there we go.
So we're gonna go to Applebee's later tonight. We're gonna order some ice cream.
We probably will have to do that.
We'll have to do that for National Ice Cream Day.
All right. So Mark says today, This bourbon's name is derived from the fact that it's been bottled at its original 125 barrel entry proof. While this is not the final barrel proof offering, due to the fact it was watered down slightly to achieve this proof, it is the highest proof 1792 is offering to date. Compared to a port of 1792 small batch, this is an amped up version that brings out flavor, and any funkiness is gone. The palate is really enjoyable, sweet, oaky, and spicy. Mark always likes to have one bottle on the shelf. He just hope it's not too strong for Nathan and Mike's delicate palates.
Wow. So is he calling us out on a delicate palate? What is that about, Mike?
Well, I've said it many, many times that I tend to dislike heavy burn whiskeys.
Oh, you love this, though, don't
This
you?
one's very good.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you said was, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, you were pretty
This one
excited.
has
about this.
this one, the taste, the flavor makes up for the initial burn.
All right. Mike, well, thank you for that Mark's Mumble.
Mm-hmm.
Now, International Ice Cream Day of the Year. Wow, who would have ever thought of that? It's
I
probably
don't know. It wasn't the people that thought of International Microwave Day.
But you'll never forget that, though, will you?
I have no idea when it is, but I'll never forget it exists.
That's right. Okay. Well, up next, we have our Technology Fail of the Week brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost for these holiday seasons today at elderberry-boost.com. Let's start.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure. Oh. I failed, did I? Yes. Did I? Yes. Did I? Yes.
All right. Well, this week's fail comes to us from Tesla. There you go. You're your buddy again. All right.
No.
As they
not
claim in
Tesla.
a response to a class action lawsuit that the autonomous driving claims aren't fraudulent, they're just a mere failure. U.S. electric car specialist Tesla has defended itself against claims of fraud by explaining that its autonomous driving technology was simply failed to meet the self-imposed goals rather than mislead consumers. As class action lawsuits in the U.S. Alleges Tesla misled the public regarding the autopilot, enhanced autopilot, and full self-driving capabilities. Following the allegations, the car maker did not deliver on a number of claims made to its American customers. The motion to dismiss the case submitted by Tesla reads, mere failure to realize a long-term aspirational goal is not fraud. Lawyers responding of a group of Tesla owners will have to prove the car company intentionally misled them when it made the claims rather than simply falling short of its aspirational goals. To the contrary, allegations in the complaint demonstrate that Tesla has been constantly improving its autonomous technology by releasing software updates with the goal of achieving more and better autonomy capabilities in the future, Tesla's lawyers argue. So there you go. So Tesla is saying, yes, what we promised you did not happen, but that was because of our high goal.
Well, I
not
guess
that we
it's gonna
misled you.
It's not going to depend on what they say now, but what they said prior to especially the accident that happened in Arizona that killed somebody.
Yes. Yep.
So
and they're
what
still
they
having problems. It still doesn't assist.
we've
It doesn't
talked-
work in the snow, right? We had
we've
Phil
talked about this. several
Phil
times.
explained that it doesn't work in any weather conditions. It can't pick up the lines of the road.
We often forget that science fiction, from where some of this stuff kind of originates from,
Yep.
Simplifies our daily lives to be able to explain some of these things. So,
Well, they're saying that they just were trying hard.
depends on if they were saying, "Well, we got it, we figured it out." We'll see.
Well, there you go. Well, that was our elderberryboost.com TFW, our technology fail of the week. We're going to head out to our last commercial break. When we return, we have Mike's mesmerizing moment brought to us by Story Coffee and a possible Nathan Nugget of the week and our pick of the day. So sit back, raise a glass. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, collected writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon, the Bookpository, and more.
Welcome back to Tech Time. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. Let's get to our highlighted segment of the day with our Mike's mesmerizing moment brought to us by Story Coffee.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by Story Coffee. Visit storycoffee.com.
All right, here you go. Ready?
Yeah, what is it?
Consumer thrills or chills? Do the holidays pressure us to purchase more consumer goods?
Do the holidays pressure us?
Yeah.
No.
They don't. Okay.
No.
Explain that to me.
Holidays are just places on a calendar.
Okay.
But are the manufacturers and advertisers and companies pressuring you to buy stuff around the holidays? Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. In fact, the question is not whether they are, but whether they are doing it significantly more than they do it during other times of the year. So, advertisers use the holidays to manipulate you into more buying behaviors.
Is that because you're feeling generous?
Because it's a combination of. There's a whole lot of effects that are going on.
Okay.
Which I can't really, break down in a very small segment. But
Okay.
advertisers, if there's any, we look at kind of the definition of what a psychopath does.
Yeah.
You can see a lot of this in the way advertising is done.
Okay.
Advertising uses a lot of manipulative sort of psychology in order to get you to be thinking about things. And we don't because we are who we are, our societal standards have put this as part of our normal daily life that we sort of tune it all out. But it's working under the surface of our unconscious, right?
So why do I feel more compelled to buy?
During the holidays, there is an increased pressure from advertisers to purchase.
Is it just because I get more emails?
Part of that is because you're getting inundated with emails that are or advertisements. Part of it is because there is a competitive value to it. Part of it is the scarcity aspect. Part of it is keeping up with the Joneses, right? Anytime during this year, during a yearly thing, you see the amped up advertisements coming when?
Okay.
When do you start seeing?
I see it's about Thanksgiving time.
It actually is starting at Halloween.
Okay.
Right?
All
It's starting to intensify around Halloween.
Okay.
And we get it from not only the displays and the colors that we associate with Halloween, but also all the store stuff.
All
right. So what happens the day after Halloween?
Everything gets torn
Everything's
down and goes to
banned,
Christmas.
right? Everything, but the candy, the sweets, they're all
50% off.
50 to 75% off.
That's the
right?
time to buy your Halloween candy.
Yeah. So so we amp this excitement up, we draw it back, and then we immediately start going for the Christmas stuff. So yeah, you're being manipulated by the advertisers to the holidays in and of themselves don't pressure this. It's the social constructs that advertisers have created around the holidays that put pressure on you to buy stuff.
All right, so my Nathan Nugget I'm going to do online and post it as a YouTube short, but I'll tell you what the subject's about. It's about, can there be too many streaming services out there and why people are going back to cable for their entertainment value versus streaming services. So you're going to want to join that. That'll be posted on Thursday. So you're going to want to take a look at the website.
We can probably answer that right now.
All right. So right now we are going to move into our pick of the day.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right. We have the 1792 full proof, 125 proof alcohol. Mike Corday poured himself an extra sipping after we were in the middle of the show because you wanted the end of the bottle. $49.95. This is the bourbon that has long been known as the full proof bourbon to distinguish itself with a rich flavor. This is $49.95. Would you spend $50 for a bottle?
I don't think you have to ask me that question.
Well, is it a thumbs up or thumbs down?
That's a thumbs up.
Is it a thumbs up?
Yeah, this is an excellent bourbon.
It's an excellent bourbon. All right. Well, Odie, what'd you think of it?
I didn't like it. I'm gonna give it a thumbs down.
Odie gave it a thumbs down. She was
too strong of a kick.
Too strong of a kick.
I don't know why you're complaining.
Well,
it did wake me up. Yeah.
Whoa. I am absolutely going to give it a thumbs up. I actually was thinking I was going to put a thumbs down on it. But man, you will definitely know if you have this alcohol because it will actually taste over and over again the next 15 minutes as that burn is
got a very
subsiding.
Awesome finish, and the flavor, like I said earlier, the flavor outweighs the initial burn.
It does. Well, Mike, we're about out of time. We want to thank our listeners for joining the program. And we always want to make sure that you remember that the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on Tech Time Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at Tech Time Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.